Before we start off this week, I feel like just a little tidbit about myself that you should know is I have a weird fascination with serial killers. They've just always really interested me, and I love getting into the mind of them and knowing where they came from. It's just something that... You psychopath! What? You enjoy serial killers? What, are you gonna tell us next that you have a favorite one? Yeah, actually. It's John Wayne Gacy. What? Yeah, I mean, I think it's really interesting how he was able to be such a staple in his community and everybody loved him, but behind closed doors he was this monster. Monster? You're the only monster here.
You take that back, or I swear to God!
Holy shit! Anyway, in preparation for a new hot-button film that's coming out that is centered around a high-profile serial killer that was active decades ago, being portrayed by a heartthrob that was originally in a Disney-owned property where he rose to stardom because of his singing talent.
Everybody's always talking at me. Everybody's trying to get in my head.
It got me thinking, why does that sound familiar?
You never know what this one has in store for you. You break down walls so they don't block your point of view.
I'm just like anybody else.
That's right! Because there was another film that was centered around a high-profile serial killer that was active decades ago being portrayed by a heartthrob from Disney that could sing well. And so, this week, we're going to be taking a look at 2017's My Friend... from a graphic novel that was actually written by someone who was friends with Jeffrey Dahmer in high school. This film takes place in Jeffrey Dahmer's senior year of high school in 1978, which, when he graduated, was only 3 weeks before his very first murder. You get to see Jeffrey Dahmer's home life while he was in school, and his friend circle, and where his alcoholism began. And from what I could see, this film is pretty accurate. But when it comes to film adaptations, accuracy isn't actually always what I'm looking at. I'm looking at it as a film. How is it? It's fine. That's really how I can sum up most of this movie. It's fine. You've got Lynch playing the role of teenage Jeffrey Dahmer, and he actually did a pretty good job. He really came across as just very closed off, which from what I could see is how Jeffrey Dahmer actually was, but he was closed off to the point sometimes that he was boring to watch. When it came time for him to show emotion, though, he did a pretty decent job. There was a real sympathy for the character in this, which, you know, some people were, like, losing their minds about. They were like, oh, I don't want to feel bad for a serial killer. But serial killers are people, too. God. Through the whole film, there are marital issues going on with his parents. And throughout the film, you can really see this taking a toll on him, both emotionally and psychologically. His best friend in this film, who is the one who grew up to write the graphic novel, is played by Wolff, who I recognized from Hereditary, which I saw not too long ago, and the Naked Brothers Band from Nickelodeon, which shows that he was also musically gifted at a younger age. He gave an amazing performance in Hereditary, and in this, he's just kind of an ass. From how it came across in the film, it's like Wolff's character, who they called Durf because of his last name, and, you know, his circle of friends befriend Dahmer just because they think he's a spaz. The scene in the film where they befriend him, they immediately start a Jeffrey Dahmer fan club.
Dahmer, where have you been? I think we should form a Dahmer fan club.
What?
And Durf is constantly drawing Jeffrey Dahmer.
Dahmer, look, I already drew you, actually. This one's called Dahmer and a Bag of Groceries.
Because his, the Durf character is the Durf character. Because Alex Wolff's character wants to grow up and be an artist, he constantly draws and sketches Jeffrey Dahmer. There's even a part where this random girl in class is like, so is Dahmer like your muse? And so I don't know if it was trying to set up that it was like this romantic connection between Durf and Dahmer. Durf and Dahmer. Wow. That really rolls off the tongue. Because, Jeffrey Dahmer was gay. I don't know if the friend is, but I don't know. Either way, it was just really odd. And like I said, his character's really an ass because they just use him so that they can all be trolls, essentially. Like, there's one scene, which actually did happen in real life, where they send a drunk Dahmer to the mall, and he just, has these conniption fits all throughout the mall. And when this first happens in the film, I was like, does Jeffrey Dahmer have epilepsy or Tourette's or something? But no, he would just randomly, as they say, spaz out, and it was hilarious to them. I couldn't find a clip from the movie to put in this, but this is a panel from the graphic novel, and just imagine that sound in your head at him walking throughout the mall doing that. That's the whole scene, and it's really long and uncomfortable. So yeah, Dahmer and his friends were just trolls before trolls were a thing, and I don't know. I really didn't like his group of friends. Except one, because he ended up feeling bad for Dahmer. I just realized that I said I liked one of the guys because he felt bad for Jeffrey Dahmer. Wow. There's really not a lot that I can say except that Ross Lynch did a fine job playing Dahmer and Alex Wolff played a fine job playing Durf. Everything else, along with those performances, is just fine. I wasn't expecting this to be a movie about, Jeffrey Dahmer's killing spree, because that's not even how the film was promoted. This was and always has been a film about his teenage years leading up to his first murder. And so that wasn't disappointing for me. That was what I was looking forward to, because like I said, I don't know a whole lot about Jeffrey Dahmer. I'm gonna cut myself off now because I'm really just rambling at this point. The film can be really interesting if you're obsessed with Jeffrey Dahmer, but if you're just looking for, a movie about a serial killer, then this movie won't be for you. Me personally, I'm neither obsessed with Jeffrey Dahmer, nor did I want a movie about a slashing serial killer, so I'm in the middle. And that's why I'm gonna say that 2017's My Friend Dahmer gets a C+. I really was hoping for more from this, but even my girlfriend told me that I would probably find it boring. And I didn't really find it boring, I just found it, again, fine. Thank you guys so much for watching. Have you seen My Friend Dahmer? If you have, let me know down in the comments what you thought about it. Or, are you excited for the Ted Bundy movie? It's such a long title, I'm not gonna get that right. But are you excited for the Zac Efron Ted Bundy movie? Or, third question, who's your favorite serial killer? Like I said, mine is John Wayne Gacy, so Even if you think I'm a freak or anybody with a favorite serial killer is a freak, put that down in the comments. Why not? Go ahead and go to my description bar. That's where you can find links to all of my social media and also links to my second YouTube channel, Ward Films. And while you're doing all of that, don't forget to hit the like and the subscribe so that I can see you guys next time.
Sensations tingle my spine. I get bodies